Barely Behaving, where marriage is petty, parenting is wild, and no, we don't want your advice. Well, I can always crop it.
You crop my nuts? Crop my nuts into the video, and then it's like my wiener's talking. I make it talk real deep because it's big old wiener.
Anyway, welcome back to Barely Behaving with me and Jason. Why? I don't understand why you have to go into the wiener immediately. I'll crop the video so we don't have to look at your junk. Anyway, so it's barbecue season. If everybody out barbecuing now in the summer, I think that's kind of where we're at. We do it most of the year round because it's nice here. But we had a barbecue story to share. Jason was making burgers. Okay, because actually, let's go back. Because I did a video not that long ago, and people were like, why is Jason making burgers in a cast iron skillet on the grill? That's fucking weird.
No, it's not weird.
And here's the reason why.
Well, there's two reasons why. Number one, I'm too cheap to buy the Blackstone grill tops. Next best thing. So everybody get off me. It's not that weird because it's like having a Blackstone, but in the two pans and heat them up. It doesn't matter. It's all preference. Nobody gives a shit. And anybody that does give a shit, get a life. How about that? That's number one. Number two, I had like 16, 80, 20 burgers.
So you've got 80-20 ground beef patties.
Right. On the grill. Right.
Yeah.
So I had to walk away and go get something. I had to wash my hands. And I was starting to time it for a minute to get a minute on each side. The minute was wearing off, the fat started to drip off down into the grill and it caught fire. And then there's 16 hamburgers dripping fat into the grill. And this huge flame started to build. And then I'm yelling for you.
I was inside
You're
getting
inside,
other things prepared
and I'm
for the
yelling
for the
because
meal.
you got the fire towel inside and the flame ended.
No, we didn't have a fire blanket at that time. We bought a fire blanket
Afterward?
because of this incident.
All right, fine. Well, anyway, I'm yelling for you
I'm
for
inside.
some help.
And
And all I'm doing, I'm yelling. Hey, I need some water or something. I need something. Hell, yelling. She's not paying any attention to me, and I thought I was gonna have to roll that bitch into the pool. That flame was like fucking 8-9 feet tall.
You're lucky you didn't burn the screen on the top.
Yeah, but when the guy came for the inspection for the house, the roof, he's like, why does it smell like soot in your inside your attic? And I was like, I don't know, but it was because the flame was firing soot up into the vent of the
because we almost had a claim for a fire instead of just a leak from a hurricane.
Yeah, it was almost a fire. Yeah, it was like it was tall, and I shut that bitch down, turned the propane off. And I just let them fucking simmer. I didn't, at that point, if we got charbroiled burgers, that's what we got for that evening.
So that's why you make burgers on a cast iron skillet on the grill.
Yeah, because I don't want to burn the house down. And then I'm not interested in anybody's tips. Don't care about your tips about cooking anything.
Grilling tips.
Don't care. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. You can make fun of me for using the cast iron skillets. I really don't care.
Have you ever grabbed one without a glove because you forgot?
No.
Okay. Because I feel like I would do that.
No, I'm not that dumb.
Oh, well, I might be. Because I might have been like, because, a regular pot, the handle doesn't get hot. And I feel like I'd be like, oh, look. Psst.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Singe my skin right off.
The positive thing out of the entire situation is that it sanitized the grill.
That is true. You burned off
anything that was in there burned off. So, yes, I would prefer to have a Blackstone and I can cook.
Blackstone. Are you sponsoring us?
It's
mostly what they do at a restaurant.
Right.
I mean, I waited tables in college. Like, that's what they do at a restaurant. It's
right.
a flat top.
That's what I want. I want a flat top, but I don't want to spend the $500 for it.
Except at Burger King.
Flame broiled.
Flame broiled.
No, actually, as you learn through whatever, those stripes on the meat are already on there.
That's cool.
To give you the illusion.
Yeah, it's a lie.
It's a lie.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Well,
supposedly it's a lie. I don't want to get sued by anybody. Supposedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
Yeah,
we don't actually know because we're
I don't know. So
when's the last time you had Burger King? In high school, probably.
I don't remember.
Either.
I can't remember the last time
I used to love a Whopper Jr.
Yeah.
But that was about it.
I used to like the dollar menu at Wendy's, and everybody knows what I'm talking about.
Wendy's is the worst. I'm sorry.
Wendy's.
I'm going to say it.
Well, when you don't have any money, and Wendy's is a dollar menu, you had nuggets, you had a JBC.
Junior bacon cheeseburger?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you had French fries, not small frosty on there, but for $5, you could get 4 items for $5.
I mean, that was in the 90s probably.
And I can tell you it was $19.99.
I did love a Frosty. You can't get mad about a Frosty.
Yeah.
That was good stuff.
They were pretty good.
Yeah. Well, other things that are going on this summer, barbecuing. I've been lasering my bikini. to prepare for,
Cool.
bikini season and going to Disney and on the cruise and everything else. I got the little home handheld laser situation. And ladies, if you don't have one, you should get one. They're great. So you don't have to go to the appointments and all the nonsense and have someone
flash your junk to somebody.
Pull apart all the cracks and crevices of your inner workings. But I'll tell you, I wouldn't recommend doing it on your asshole. It says that you can. And I spread some stuff apart and put it in. Woo! Whoo! That's sharp. That's a sharp twinge, and I wasn't ready for it. There was a little burning after that. I don't think it was a good choice. So I'm going to stick to just the parts you can see.
Yeah, but you forgot that you have to wear these sunglasses.
I do.
And then if you're walking around the corner from the bathroom, there's a flash of light every so often, and that's what's happening in the background is that...
Because you've walked in on me doing it.
Right.
And I'm standing
Don't
there.
look at the light. What light? Boop.
It comes with these black... I don't even know how they're blocking anything. I don't know, but you're supposed to wear them. I still see the light, and it's supposed to protect your eyes from the laser. And he walked in once, and I'm naked, full naked, and just down there trying to, get it in all the spots, pull this to the side and that and whatever else. He's like, what the fuck you doing?
Just flashing like a camera.
Yeah, I gotta get rid of the hairs and the pits. It's great for the pits. You can do it on your legs too, but that takes too long.
Seems like
I don't really care that much about shaving my legs, honestly.
All right, cool. So you're going to have hairy legs and then no bush.
Yeah.
And then hair.
Smooth as a dolphin.
Yeah, nice. It's reverse.
Well, my leg hair is softer.
Sure.
But your bush hair is it's thick and coarse.
Beard-like.
Yeah.
That's why they call it the bearded clam.
I guess so. Yeah, it's a little too coarse to let it go.
Yeah.
Plus, you don't want to walk around at a public pool with, your jungle hanging out. That's not cute.
I remember when I was a kid and we at one of the condos down on Sandbar Island, there was this guy that was wearing a Speedo and he did not give a shit. And it was it was Speedo and then bush around it. And I remember looking, I was just that seems odd to me. That's a lot of hip hair that we have. You might want to trim the hip hair down.
That's nasty.
That is pretty nasty.
What's sexier to me is a short swimsuit. But what are they called? Swim trunks? The shorter ones?
Don't know.
Those are cute.
It's like the Me Undies, boxer brief undies.
That would be a hot swimsuit. Yeah.
Sure.
You're just throwing brand names out today.
That's what I wear. I don't care.
It's true.
It's whatever. They're comfy.
We're what? A couple weeks into summer break. And
it's hot.
Yeah. It's toasty. By the time people listen to this, we'll be on our way to Disney. Sweating it hard there because it's peak hotness.
No, peak hotness is July, September.
Okay.
August.
It's true, but we're climbing the ladder to peak hotness.
Climbing the ladder. If we ever went back in August, which we're probably not to this year, but if you go in August, that's when.
Every time we've gone in August, I think we've gone twice. I question my life choices because it's so hot.
Oh, I don't. I work in that all day long.
I know, but then you're weird. Unless you work outside for a living, that heat will fuck you up. I am insufferable in that heat. You don't want to be around me.
It makes you not think straight.
Yeah,
and
I
then
have
you
a
get
very short temper. Very short temper. Yeah.
You want to put everybody in a chokehold.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. I'm jumping on your back. Chokehold. You walk too slow. Chokehold. I hear you say something to chokehold. Everything.
No, I don't like Disney World in August is terrible.
It's tough.
Yeah, don't go.
It's tough.
So we won't do that.
The same heat though on a cruise though. It seems a little bit different because you got that breeze.
Yeah, but it's still humid.
Yeah, it is. You got that breeze off the water though.
Yeah, we'll be on the cruise in July. Yeah, I did have somebody comment that they wanted us to talk about a reel that I did, me folding laundry and talking about how when you raise your voice at the kids and how I don't like that. Everything I do is meant to be a joke, but a lot of it's also based in truth a little bit, right? But, and they wanted us to sort of discuss that interaction and how that goes at our house.
I don't yell at anybody unless they don't listen to you for the 5th or 6th time.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah, that's
Otherwise,
usually
I don't really give a shit because it'll usually settle itself. But normally, if they haven't listened and you keep saying the same thing over again, that's when I'll step in and say something, and then they listen, because usually what happens is they listen to mom all day. Oh, fuck that shit. And
but they just hear my voice all day, and they're used to me
used to it.
and my volume. And when you come in at the end of the day, because they don't see you all day, right? You know, during the summer, and you come in and lay the hammer down. They're like, whoop.
Yeah, but the hammer is laid down after plenty of rope has been given.
That's true.
To correct the situation. I don't come in there and start yelling at anybody. I don't do that.
No,
I
know.
wait.
Yeah.
I just wait.
I know. And the truth is I used to struggle with that when you would lay the hammer down, but it was like I needed you to because I wasn't getting anywhere and I needed another voice in whatever the situation was. But then also I'm like, oh, my babies. Don't yell at my babies.
But if they don't listen, they need something.
But sometimes they need to hear the same thing from somebody else.
Yeah.
I think that's just the truth in parenting. There's got to be a balance. There's got to be a back and forth of, you know, power, I guess you could say.
Back and forth of power? When do I get the power?
I don't know. You get it when you get it.
That's true.
Sometimes I say, handle this because I'm fed up.
Then you get, oh, my babies. Oh, my babies.
Sometimes. But sometimes I'm like, those little fuckers deserved it because they were being dicks or one of them was being a dick.
Pretty much.
That's a thing in homes with kids, with the division of power and who takes what when, you know.
I don't want power.
Okay, maybe
I want to be
is
left
the wrong
alone.
word.
I'll tell you what, if there's dudes that want the power in the house, have it. That's the responsibility. Little do you know, you can give somebody else the responsibility and you can just kind of stand in the background and be like, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And then you can walk off and do whatever you want to do. I'd rather be that guy. Yeah, get some. Because I like to say to the oldest one sometimes, because he stubbed his toe and was like, ah, fuck. I was like,
he said, oh, fuck?
Yeah, you were
When?
a couple weeks ago.
He said, oh, fuck, when he stubbed his toe?
Yeah, he stubbed his toe. I said, did you just say fuck? He's like, yeah. I was like, I don't care if you did, but I said, if you say it in front of your mom, she's going to yell at you.
I'm not going to yell at him.
You did.
I didn't yell at him. I probably just said, don't say that at school. Because we say fuck in front of our kids.
That's true, but
we swear in front of our kids, and some people don't like that. But
it's
just real life.
It's real life. Here's an example for you, okay? So you have a preteen or a teen, right? You think that they never heard like the term fuck or pussy or ass or cheeks or whatever it is? No, they've heard it. They've probably said nasty shit to each other at the school playground or whatever. So us swearing properly at the house, I mean, they've heard worse between themselves.
Well, somebody out there's got a big brother or a big sister who is, you know, saying that kind of stuff and they've heard it from them or they've heard it from their parents. And so, but
right. So if the parents think that not swearing around the house is going to keep them not exposed to that, you have been mistaken.
Yeah. Oh, I totally agree.
If you don't want your kids to swear in the house or you don't swear in front of your kids, hey, great for you. But I'm going to tell you right now, they already know all the swear words and they probably use them at school.
Right. And I really think that anything that you restrict your kids from,
oh, they're going to go for it.
That it makes them want to do it more.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, for us, like, if one of our kids, if they say fuck at home, which, I mean, didn't our little one, our 6-year-old, didn't he say, oh, no, I have a video of him when he was, like, 2 and maybe 3. He goes, because you said the fuck about something. We were at Disney World, of course. And he goes, the fuck. And he just kept saying it over and over again. I just laughed because it's like, you know, whatever, you know. But if you restrict your kids from something, they're going to want it. And then they're going to go a sneaky way around about to get to that thing, whatever it may be.
So if you're restricting things, stop.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Same.
If they want to watch a movie that's not G or PG, let them watch it unless it's like some sort of horror or murder stuff. I would obviously that's known, but if you're like watching Harry Potter, please.
Well, they just watched the Minecraft movie and they're singing the Minecraft song, the Lava Chicken song.
Right.
And he says hell in it. It's tasty as hell or something like that.
Yeah.
And they both sing it. And I don't give a shit.
No.
What am I going to say? Don't say that word.
Yeah,
no.
But when we were kids growing up, PG was like, you could say all the swear words except for the F word.
In PG movies?
In PG movies. And then PG-13.
I don't know if I remember that. I feel like it was PG-13.
No, in PG-13, you could say the F word.
Really?
In PG, you could not.
I don't remember that.
And then R was just like, oh my, like in the 80s, like our movie was like, whoa. I just remember watching Revenge of the Nerds, the first one, and they showed so much nudity in that.
Yeah.
It was rated R and they were showing stuff you probably shouldn't be. Or Porky's.
Yeah. Isn't the cover of that a naked woman?
No, the cover of it is a hole with an eye, which was like the glory hole, I think. They would stick their wieners through there and it was like all that part. And that was the 80s. Those are 80s movies. They don't make those anymore. But I think that was an R movie.
It had to be. I think more so in the 80s, the nudity was what made it R.
I don't know. They were allowed to show boobies in PG-13, but they weren't allowed to show the woman's bush in PG-13, but in R they did because the Revenge of the Nerds showed all that. And then the Revenge of the Nerds, it was stuff you couldn't get away with like now.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in movies back then that, like, you remember that movie Earth Girls Are Easy?
Yes.
Like, I loved that movie, but there were a lot of insinuations in that. And I watched that as a child.
Yeah, well, they were naked with fur, and then they shaved themselves off, and they were just straight up naked.
You like my tree in the background?
No, I don't.
I got that tree.
Nobody's like, look at that fucking tree.
They're watching this podcast
They're
because
like,
of the tree.
That tree behind you is fucking amazing, and I'm going to continue to watch this podcast
Good.
or listen to it because I know that tree is there.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got that tree.
That's great. The first one broke, and then you're like, oh, well, I have to send it back because it was too small. Well, you broke it yourself and like, well, I got to send it back now.
It was too short, but I was like fluffing it, and then one of the branches broke, and I said,
I'm sure it did.
I got to send it
Well,
back.
it broke. I sent it back. I'm good. A taller tree now. Well.
I did. And it worked out, and it looks great. It makes it look festive.
Cool.
You know, homey, comfy.
Yeah, homey and comfy.
So people ask all the time, like, how often you are joking around with me, and how, like, you have all these one-liner jokes all the time, and they were like, yeah, you're gonna have this whole podcast about all Jason's jokes. I'm like, that's not how it works.
No, I don't have that many. They come to me when they come to me, but otherwise it's not like one after another because that would be quite annoying after a while.
Yeah, it's just in the moment. But I think because I talk about it on social media, like maybe on a Monday, and then 2 weeks later, they think you're spitting them out.
Because you take notes. You
I
take
do.
notes, you write them down, and they just happen when they happen. Sometimes it's a hot streak. Sometimes it'll be like 2 weeks, or I really don't have anything to say.
Yeah.
This is not going to be one-liners where you're just like, oh, yeah, this was long and hard. Oh, long and hard, huh? Something like that. Or I was fluffing the tree. Oh, you like to fluff things, huh? Okay, fluff these nuts. You know what I mean? Like, that's just not.
No, that would be annoying as fuck.
Yes, it would. Everything you would do would be insinuated some sort of stupid joke, and that would be very annoying.
Yeah, no.
I wouldn't want to do that.
I just catch them when you say them, and I write them down so I
pretty
remember,
much.
and then I record about it.
Yep.
That's kind of how it works. So you guys just get like a little insight into, what happens.
But sorry to disappoint everybody.
I don't think it's a disappointment. I think it's just a reality of like, I choose what to put on social media, right? And everybody does. And if I'm choosing things to stay with what kind of our personality and my personality is on social media, I stay with that because that's what my audience expects.
Right. They just want the funny stuff.
I don't veer off of it too much.
But what I am hooked on, though, is watching people eat food. I don't know what it is. I can't stop. Like, people like review food in their cars and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I watch them eat this food. I'm just like, how can you eat so much food?
Yeah, I know. You sit next to me and you watch these videos, and I see you fully submerged in somebody eating a hamburger in
they'll
their
get
car.
like crumble cookies of the week. So I'm watching them eat these massive crumble cookies, and I'm just like, and one person put the calories on there. Okay, so that was like 1,200 calories, and you ate that whole thing. Okay, and you have 5 more to go. Oh man,
They eat the whole thing in the video.
some people eat the whole thing. Some people will like take 2 bites.
I see people take a taste.
They'll take like 2 bites, and then it looks like they eat the whole thing, but they don't. But there's some people that actually videotape themselves eating the entire thing.
I'd be sick to my stomach.
And you're just like, I always go, how do you do that?
We've gotten crumble cookies a few times.
They are like a sugar bomb.
I couldn't even eat a whole cookie. Like, we would take what we got and we'd cut them into like little pie pieces.
Right.
And then just have little tastes.
Right.
There's no way I could have just eaten that whole cookie. It's the size of my hand.
Yeah, I've seen people like eat the little minis.
Oh, I didn't know they had mini ones.
Yeah, but I've only seen like once or twice. I forgot which person does that. Like, I see so many of these videos, and then I like watching people consume as much as that food as they can. It just makes me giggle inside.
Yeah, remember when they used to do the hot dog eating contest?
They still do.
And they'd like get the bun wet and just
Yeah,
like
they still
choke it
do.
down like a fucking chicken.
Yeah.
Oh my
like
God,
a
so
like
nasty.
a bird.
Yeah. So gross. And they don't even like, do they even chew them? I feel like they just swallow it.
I think they chomp into like smaller pieces and then swallow the pieces. That's what I think they do.
It's nasty.
I don't know. I don't know for sure. I have no idea. That's not my game. All I do is watch people eat food in their car. Like,
What kind of food do you really like to watch someone eat?
it doesn't matter.
Like a sweet treat
Cook,
or like...
it doesn't matter. Watch people pound pizzas or cheeseburgers or cookies, cakes. I'm going to order everything off the Cheesecake Factory menu.
Oh my God.
And it was, I don't know what happened to that guy.
How long were they there? For a week?
No. Like it was going to take them for a year because there's
okay.
like 500 things on the menu. All I know is that I'm sit there and I scroll these videos of these people eating this stuff. I'm like, oh my God.
I don't know. I don't get that excited about food in general.
I'm not excited about the food. I'm just amazed at the consumption of what they're consuming. Like how, like really? You ate all that? Because If you did, good for you. But how did you not like shit your pants?
Maybe you can make some of that content when we go to Disney next. We'll make some of
Yeah,
your eating food content.
you'll see one. I'll eat it and then I'll feel so sick afterwards, and I'll be like, I think I'm gonna throw up, and then everybody can witness another throw up story that I have.
Super
Duper.
Well, people ask me a lot what my diet is, what my secret is. I don't have a fucking secret. There's no secret here.
Oh, actually, the secret is
Okay, here it is, everyone. Take notes.
ingredients that have one thing in it.
Yeah, food that has
Right,
minimal
whole food,
ingredient.
minimal
Yeah.
ingredients. Try to stay away from processed and ultra processed foods.
Yeah.
And take some vitamins, man. Move your body around. Work out a little bit.
Not like rocket science, you know what I mean?
No.
But I think the thing for a lot of people is if you don't keep up with a lifestyle like that, and I know people are like, oh, it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. But it's true. For us, I think a lot of it was rooted in the fact, the reason we don't go out to eat much and stuff like that is because our kids have so many food allergies. So we're not able to do it.
Yeah, but
so we by default have to always cook at home, and we choose things that are clean.
Yeah, but we didn't really do it before either. If you're eating a piece of bread and you look on the ingredients, it has 30 ingredients in it, I'm going to tell you right now, probably don't want to eat that.
Right.
And then, or if you're like eating, like, believe it or not, granola bars, not good for you. I don't care what they say. You know what I mean? Like, you look on the back of it and you see all that shit. And I'm not a health person at all. All I'm telling you is that if you want to know what we eat,
Right.
I look at the back and I go, nope, and I put it back on the shelf. And that's not to say that we don't cheat. Like when
No.
you go on vacation, yeah, you'll cheat on it.
And
but
I wouldn't even call it cheating. I just call that like you're on vacation, you know, you're gonna let go.
right.
You know what I mean? And when we're at home, we make sure that we're just very careful about what we put in our bodies, you know?
Right.
And now, I'm not saying my kids don't eat a granola bar. They do. They like a granola bar. But they also eat like an apple, or they have like real meat for lunch. Like they don't eat sandwiches. They don't eat peanut butter and jelly. First of all, because we have a peanut butter allergy. But secondly, like they're not into that. They would rather bring to school like some shredded beef that I made for dinner that week, or a cut up piece of hamburger, or whatever. They'd prefer that than anything else. And so
It's true.
that's what they eat, and that's what we eat.
But, you know, when we go to Disney, you can take a video of every drink I have if you're around.
Yeah, because you know you're still gonna enjoy yourself. You're
That's
not
right.
gonna. It's not about like sacrificing everything. It's just making a different choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much. But when you go on vacation, there really is no different choice. It's not,
No.
it's what it is.
On vacation, you eat, you enjoy yourself. And
Pretty much. As soon as we get
it.
there, the first trip is going to be around to the Polynesian, and I'm going to tank a zombie or a mind eraser that they have there, something like that. That's going down the hatch first.
Okay,
Just so you know.
maybe I'll get a mocktail.
Yeah, mock it up.
I'm sure they have some cute little mocktails.
I'm sure they
with
do.
A little umbrella. I would like that.
Sure.
I could feel festive. I'm not one for. I don't drink. You know, I used to sometimes. I used to drink wine. And those of you who are winos, you're gonna be like, Becky, gross. I used to like Moscato because it was sweet. I needed it to be sweet. Like any other kind of wine, I was like, well, I could do a Riesling, but that was it. But for me, like, I just don't feel good after I have a drink the next day. I just don't feel good, and I don't like that feeling. So it's not about like I need to be sober. I don't want to feel like shit the next morning. Even one drink, don't feel great.
Well, you have to train harder. That's the problem.
I'm not training for shit.
When you train harder.
I trained in college. college.
That wasn't training.
Yeah. I drank straight from the bottle, Boone's Farm.
That's not training.
That was me.
No.
That was me being wild.
That's
in
like
college.
that's pre-game to training. That's like warm up and then you start to train. That's what that is.
Or the jungle juice from like a fucking bathtub or a Rubbermaid container.
Yeah, sure. Good luck with that. That's almost like rape juice, where it's like
Probably was. You could have poured anything in there.
Yeah.
People just take their solo cup and
pretty much could have
drink it
thrown
up.
some pills in there too, and all of a sudden everybody's fucked up.
Yeah.
No.
We did what we did in college. That was a whole other thing. And I drank for a little bit after that, but I think I did all I needed to do when I was in college.
Okay.
That was it.
And now you try to throw away my Blanton's bottles.
I didn't realize it was such a thing.
That's okay.
I saw an empty bottle.
Now you know.
And I thought, why? That's like keeping an empty bottle of lemonade. Why would you keep that?
It's true. It's a lesson learned. It's okay. You got scolded
So scolded my ass.
by the people on your...
Oh yeah, I did have people were like, don't.
Not by me.
No. But people on Instagram were like, you should ask before you throw something away of your husband's. That's terrible. Like,
Well, it doesn't really matter if she threw it away. They would have been sucked. Then we had to find another one, but no harm, no foul.
yeah, like if you're holding on to that and you're like,
If it was lost, I wouldn't have been like, oh man, my world is over.
yeah.
No, I've been like, fuck. Oh well.
Yeah, that would have been it. You know, don't need to have a big stroke about shit like that.
No, but not throwing away empty boxes in the fucking pantry. I mean, so I don't know. You pick and choose, I guess, what we decide to throw away. Well, the empty box, I don't really care. I didn't really see it, but this bottle must go now.
I think maybe you've passed down the keeping the empty containers to our children because our oldest loves to keep an empty box of Mickey bars in the freezer. He will take the last one out and he will leave that shit in there. And so I think there's still some there.
That happened yesterday.
You went in there and you looked and you saw the box and it was empty. And you were like, what the fuck? And I was like, why are we keeping this?
Right.
As soon as you take the last thing out, throw it away and tell somebody because you're 11 and you can't go to the store and go replace it. I need to do that. So please tell me. And our 6-year-old, the same thing with his little cookies that he never closes the top.
No.
He rips open that shit, that silver packaging, takes his cookies out, pushes the thing back in and throws it in there. Totally open and empty. He doesn't care. He will put it empty back in there. You are also famous for putting 3 crumbs of chips in a bag.
Not empty.
Who's going to eat the crumbs?
Me.
You're not, because you will
But it's
open
not
another
empty.
bag.
It doesn't matter.
You will leave that bag
No,
there.
I only change it because I saw other people putting their hands in it. And during the school year, I make sure that I don't follow up after the children after they put their hands in the bags of chips or whatever it is.
Do you think they're cleaner now?
I don't do it now, but I'm saying
But
especially.
they pick their nose.
It doesn't matter. I open up a new bag. It doesn't
So
matter.
you won't share a chip bag with our kids?
Not after they reach their hands into it. No, but if they pour it out, yeah, no problem because I know what happens. I know what happens.
Yeah, but I think it is an epidemic of the husbands with the bags with crumbs that they go back in the pantry or anything for that matter. You'll put something back in the refrigerator. Like if there was like leftover meatloaf in a container and you ate a bunch of it, but there was just a little bit left, not enough for a full serving, but you figure I'll just leave it there for Becky.
No.
Maybe she'll eat it.
No, it's because it's not empty yet.
But you won't go back and eat it.
Yes, I did. The piece you're referring to, I ate 2 days ago, and then I took the container out and I washed it and I put it away.
Well, that's a gold star for you because you don't usually do that. You will put something back in there like a container of guacamole. There's maybe a couple of little dips left and you'll put it back in there because you want me to throw it away. Just throw it away.
It's not empty.
Just throw it away.
It's not empty, so it doesn't matter.
Then finish it and make it empty.
Nope, too full.
Does anybody else suffer with this? I can't with you.
Anyway, so yeah, back to the grill where the flame was 8 feet high.
Okay, we're going to circle back.
It's fine.
Circle back to the grill.
No,
Okay.
I'm not going to circle back to the grill.
Okay.
Let's just transition to something different.
Okay.
Pinch and roll.
What did you just say?
Pinch and roll.
What's pinch and roll?
I had an itch on my sack, so it was a pinch and roll.
You pinch the skin?
You got to pinch,
Like, and
pinch
then
it and
you
you
roll
roll
it?
it. So that way you don't have to worry about scratching it. You just the pinch and roll.
Is that a thing? Did you just make that up or that's
No,
a thing
that's
for
a thing.
all the men?
It's a pinch and roll.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. That's new.
Pinch and roll.
I didn't know there was a name for such a thing.
Sure.
Okay. So do you think that we should put out to my audience like an open box so that they can ask questions on
Yep.
here?
Yeah, sure.
Or they want our advice on something or like
Sure.
our perspective on something?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, I think I'm going to do that. Would you guys like me to do that? I'll put it on a question box or maybe I'll make a Google form. I'll do that.
What do you do? Put it across all platforms.
Yeah, and then I can have people chime in and
There
we
you
can
go.
talk about
Endless
stuff.
information.
Endless
Endless.
answering questions. Don't ask sex questions. We're not doing it.
Nope.
We may walk the line on social media with the jokes, but we're not getting into the intimacies in this house.
No.
Okay?
Okay.
Anyways, well, that'll be fun. That'll be a new perspective. I
Yep.
think we'll do that.
Okay.
All right, cool. Well, thanks you guys for coming and listening. We love you and keep coming along on this journey. So thanks for hanging out with us.
Yep.
We'll talk to you guys later. Bye.